All right, everybody. So I'm going to just jump right in here and say this here. No, the RTX 5070 is not as powerful as a RTX 4090. I know that that's what NVIDIA would like you to believe, but it's not. What they really mean is that it's a decent performer, but if you enable DLSS and the new multi-frame generation technology they offer in the 5000 series, then it can simulate RTX 4090 levels of performance. But again, though, it's really not. Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Terry. I like to talk about tech, cameras, streaming gear, all that jazz. And this one here sort of kind of got a lot of pushback online from people that, in my opinion, have common sense. There are a lot of people out there that are defending NVIDIA with this announcement, and they're saying, hey, you know what? Gamers don't care how they get their frames as long as they have high frame rates. But here's the thing, though, y'all. Here's the thing here, gamers. Petey got a lot to say. My kitty cat, he has a lot to say. You hear that? He's very mad about this too, okay? You know, a lot of gamers out there tend to think that the world revolves around them and their needs, but in fact, that's not true. You see, there are other people that happen to buy consumer video cards for video production, video editing, 3D modeling, rendering, whatever you want to call it, actual work, not just games, okay? And here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. There are a lot of people out there that just aren't technical, okay? They can be one of the best in their field at what they do, but they cannot build a computer. They cannot build a website from scratch. They're not technical, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But again, though, they could be the best video editor in the world, but again, just don't know how their computer works. It's the same kind of person that only knows that the new Apple M4 chip is better because it's bigger than the M3. Because 4 is a bigger number than 3, Same thing for the M1 and M2. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. They're just not a technical person, but they know, though, because, oh, hey, the Apple M4 is Apple's newest and best chip. I should buy that computer with it. And I should probably spec it a little bit higher and pay a little bit more money to make sure I'm getting the best for my money to edit, 8K video, to do whatever I have to do, right? And whenever your average end user sees that type of slide from NVIDIA, oh, hey guys, yeah, this $500 graphics card or $600 graphics card can outperform a $2,000 graphics card. That's not MSRP, but let's be honest here, though, that's what everybody was paying for them at the time, that it can outperform or meet a $2,000 graphics card. That's not true at all. Whenever it comes to raw performance, a 4090, still to this day, will completely decimate an RTX 5070. Now again, whenever you're talking about the new multi-frame generation technology in DLSS 4 that's being introduced with the RTX 50 series, then yeah, you can simulate that level of performance, but as far as a raw rasterization goes, not even a little bit. So again, a second ago, to the video editor out there, okay, that again, they're the best video editor in the world, but they're not a, technical person. They see this slide and they're like, hey, you know what? I really have a high-end desktop, a high-end custom desktop that I have right now for editing. I'm going to go ahead and buy this RTX 5070 and replace the, 4080 or 4090 or even 3090 Ti that's currently in my system because, hey, if I can sell my current high-end graphics card for a decent profit, I can essentially get this new video card for free. You know what I mean? Free, So they end up buying this 5070, throwing it in their editing rig, and come to find out for editing, it's actually slower than their 4090. You know what I mean? And here's the thing, folks. Here is the thing. The big tagline apparently was, we couldn't do this without AI. And they are admitting right there, again, like I said a second ago at the beginning of this video, that it's only able to simulate the performance of a 4090 due to DLSS 4 and their new multi-frame generation technology, okay? And what does that mean? Well, frame gen was a big deal a few years or so ago whenever NVIDIA first unveiled it, and it's really cool technology. It truly, truly is. But what they're able to do now is they're able to do up to 3 extra frames for every 1 actual frame rendered, which, don't get me wrong, y'all, it's very, very, very cool. It really is.
5th generation Tensor cores on RTX 50 series GPUs have the computational horsepower necessary to quickly execute the series of AI models These software and hardware innovations enable DLSS 4 on RTX 50 series GPUs to generate up to 3 additional frames between traditionally rendered frames.
And they were able to do it faster with even lower latency than sometimes native frames. And again, the technology is cool as hell, folks. It really is. There are some games on my 4080 that are just so unoptimized. The only way for me to get good frame rates, especially whenever I'm streaming the game, is to use DLSS and frame gen technology. Now, if this type of tech will allow people to spend less money to get an equivalent gaming experience, then by all means, go right ahead and use it. It is great, and I'm not denying that the technology is great. But just for your average end user out there that might not be technical, that hears that kind of stuff being spewed out there on stage, I just think it's just kind of disingenuous, folks. It really is. It's not necessarily true, if that makes sense, And here's the thing too, folks. Here's the thing too. If you're just a gamer, a 5070 might be all you need. If you're a content creator, like a streamer, you might be kind of pushing it. And I'm only saying that because a 5070 for the NVENC encoders, it only has one encoder and one decoder. But if you step it up, the 5070 Ti here has 2 encoders, 1 decoder. The 5080 has 2 encoders, 2 decoders. And folks, for real, if you're a streamer, if you're a high-end video producer of some kind, like an editor, or you do a lot of design work, the 5090 is going to be like your card to get. It has 3 encoders and 2 decoders. So any kind of footage you'll be able to throw with these cards, that 5080, 5090, you can just chew right through them. And then on top of that, I can't believe this is finally happening, y'all. With the 5000 launch, you're finally able to edit 10-bit 422 with hardware acceleration without having to transcode your footage to like ProRes or Cineform or some kind of intermediate codec. Like, you can actually edit 10-bit 422 stuff natively directly on hardware. That's awesome, folks. That's really cool. A matter of fact, I'm actually shooting in 10-bit 422 right now on my A7 IV. But I had to transcode it in Resolve to H.265, some kind of intermediary codec, again, H.265 here, to edit it smoothly on my timeline, you know what I mean? But I picked this codec in this format because it looks great and it retains a lot of color data. It really does. It makes it a lot easier to grade in post, you know what I mean? But the fact that you have to have that extra step to, re-encode your footage before you can even edit it, that just adds extra time that many people might not have, So the fact that, again, it has built-in hardware encoding and decoding for 10-bit 422, that is fan-flippin-tastic. And again, as a consumer, as a gamer, as a technology enthusiast here, if you will, I love the 5000 series, especially the 5080 and the 5090, but even just for the newer encoders, even the 5070 Ti. But if you're just a gamer, okay, again, if you are just a gamer and you have no will, rhyme, or reason to ever want to get into content creation, again, with the multi-frame gen, with the new DLSS technology, I think the 5070 actually is a pretty good card for what it is. I really do, especially 1440p gaming, maybe high settings, and again, kick up that frame rate with that multi-frame gen. But it just really irks me the wrong way whenever there are people out there that are okay with this kind of advertising, when in all actuality, whenever you break it down to the raw performance, it's just not true to say, oh, hey, it's faster than or just as fast as a high-end card from a year or so ago, you know what I mean? But hey, do me a favor, folks. Sound off down below. What do you all think about the RTX 5000 series? Do you think they're going to be worth the money? Do you think they need to stop spinning the information they're putting out to make everything look good as they always do? Or are you like me and you just wish they would stick to raw rasterization performance and they would then go on and say, hey, you know what? If you think these numbers are great, wait until you enable these new features to double, triple your frame rate. You know what I mean? Do me a favor, y'all. Sound off down below, and I will catch you guys and gals next time.